Hello again, friends. Sorry for the delay. Bit of issues. I've brought Dublin from Aerosoft. I'm not sure if that has slowed down loading times, but whatever. I'm here at Bristol now, and somebody just spawned on top of us. They were very polite and managed to move. I've started up smart cars, and I am live. So if you are watching, please say hello. And without further ado, welcome to Bristol. Stand 6. Bristol should have pretty full coverage tonight. Yeah, we'll get into it. I'm just going to send somebody a message. So, here, like I said, here we are, stand 4. I've done nothing apart from open the door. And so, without further ado, here's our very dark cockpit. Let's get the airplane lit up. And I'll tell you what we can do. We can pop on the night vision goggles. There we go, that'll do. Pop the logo on. And as always, we'll get the IRSs aligning. Just make sure that they start to align. About 8 minutes. Check the crossfeed valve, bright dim and bright off. Leave all the fuel pumps off as we're going to get fueled up. We have power on, gen bus off, and the APU is not available, so we're on ground AC power. We've set the leave the seatbelts off. Diff pressure is 0. Pop the hydraulic pumps on. Test the window heats. Pop those on. And pop the APU lead on. Backs on auto. ISO is open. Now our flight plan tonight is quite interesting. It's giving us a step cruise of 240 to Strumble and then 380 to VATSIM. I'm not convinced that we're going to be able to do that. We are quite light, but I'm just not convinced. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 240 in, what we do anyway, and the landing altitude is 250 Dublin, and that's the overhead setup. Just get all of these. We'll set the MCP up in a moment and check we've got hydraulic pressure, which we have. Auto brake can come on, go to RT and on. Check the throttles. Down here, standby 2000, radio panel set, lights are set, and that's effectively our setup. Good to go. So, ATIS is 126, second window, 126025. We'll have a look at that in a minute, but for now, what we'll do is get ground handling running. And I've now also got let's get the cargo doors open. I've also got I think it's AutoGate plugin, which I've been meaning to get for a while. Don't think it makes a difference here at Bristol because it hasn't been enabled, but it certainly works over at Dublin. So somebody sat over there at a rather squiffy angle, don't know what that is. EasyJet over there, I'm not sure if they're on their way to Dublin, and that's it. So Bristol's relatively quiet. So let's open up all the doors. And let's have a think about our weights and payloads. So from our OFP, go. So payload 128 packs. So 128 packs and 1865 cargo. So let's put 1865 all in the front. It's just 1301, about 200 light, which is not too far off. So about 200 kilos lighter. And we can have a look at fuel. As we're lighter, we're going to expect slightly less of a fuel burn. And we were quite heavy when we came into Bristol last night, and it's remembered the fuel quite precisely by the looks of things. So we'll ask for 5480. Our alternate is Chester. Let's call the fuel truck and get the fuel on the way, and that's done. So if you are watching and you're not familiar with SimBrief, get on SimBrief. You're going to have to put in a profile to match the Zibo, but once you have, you get all this information, which is ideal. Interestingly, did we have a takeoff alternate last night? I'm going to have a look, because I haven't noticed takeoff alternates before. Oh, that's interesting. Now, I didn't do anything different. Last night we didn't get a takeoff alternate, but tonight we did. Anyway, let's have a listen to the ATIS.
08.
And write it down.
Elevation 601 feet, departing aircraft, make initial contact on frequency 125. 850.
So that's Cardiff approach.
Information. Acknowledge your receipt of information, Zulu. And advise aircraft type on first contact time 1850. Automatic. Runway in use 27. Transition level, flight level 75. Surface winds 250. 16 knots. Visibility 10. Kilometers or more, overcast 300 feet. Temperature +8. Dew point +8. QNH 1008. Threshold elevation 601 feet, departing aircraft, make initial contact on frequency 1.
Oh, that's very loud. Keen on that. So, that's the ATIS. We've got Echo, Golf, Bravo, Charlie Tower, and Bravo Papa. Not sure who those are. So, our first frequency is 12585, which is Cardiff approach, which is odd. Bristol had been completely lit up until not that long ago, which is a shame because I thought they were meant to be online till 9, but perhaps they are going for dinner. Yeah, which is a shame. We'd normally speak to Bristol Tower and maybe Cardiff approach afterwards, but at least Cardiff are covering. Shannon is online, and I think Dublin, some of Dublin's online. So this could be a bit of an interesting route outbound. Our scheduled push is at 19:45. Started smart cars at 17:06, so 18, 28, 38. So,
Cardiff Radar, very good evening. Easy to 8, Golf stand free. Information Zulu with the QNH 1008. Aircraft type Airbus A320. Requesting clearance, please, to Inverness.
Easy 28, Golf Cardiff Radar, good evening. Into Inverness, bracket 1 X-ray departure, squawk 4373.
so we're going to expect the same departure.
Inverness, bracket 1 X-ray departure, squawk 4373. Easy to 8, Golf.
Easy 28, Golf, feedback correct.
So the aerodrome elevation is 622, so 1622 is us. We'll have a look at the departure and the charts in a moment.
Cardiff, very good evening. Ryanair 25 Yankee Golf information Zulu.
Ryanair 25 Yankee Golf Cardiff Radar, good evening. And report your aircraft type at squawk 1062.
BRS 737-800 answering squawk 106, Ryanair 25 Yankee Golf.
So we've got 5.5 tonnes of fuel, which is 20 kilos over what was on the OFP, and the IRSs have now aligned, so let's get into the FMC setup.
Ryanair 25 Yankee Golf, thanks. Descent, flight level 80, Bristol landing runway 27.
Our nav data is correct, see that it was current from the 27th of Feb until March the 25th, which is a couple of weeks' time, 4-week cycle. Check the engine rating and you check the model, you know, and the software version matched what you've got in the aircraft logbook. In reality, we're at Echo Golf Golf Delta, as you can see here, departing Bristol off to Dublin. We're at stand 6. Take the GPS left and pop it in the IRS. That will align everything. There we go. So we'll pop the captain's side flight director on first, followed by the first officers at that point, so we don't get. And we're going to Dublin Echo in Delta Whiskey. This evening we are Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango, 560 Tango. And our route, I am going to type in manually, can export it. So, over to the next page. We are going to ignore this.
Golf
That's what
stand free, QNH 1008 requesting push and start.
we've got. Runway 27, which is correct. That will be the SID that we have requested, that filed for. But we may not necessarily get, so we don't put that in until we've got clearance. So our first point is we're going to be going to Brecon, which is Bravo Charlie November. That goes in here. See VORDME Brecon, Barcelona, or NDB Bahia. Anyway, that's in the southern hemisphere, so it definitely ain't going to be that one. Barcelona, I think I know, and everyone else knows where that is. So Brecon is the correct one, and we could of course look on the chart to confirm it. There we go. The next one is Quebec 63 to Strumble VOR. There's only one of those, so we don't get asked. Mike 17 to Vatry, and that is the end. Vatry is where is the FIR boundary and where the star into Dublin begins. We filed for Vatry 1 X-ray via SIM brief, but I'm going to expect we're going to get Vatry 1 Lima, which is a point merge, which is much more realistic. And even if there's no one online, that's what I would fly anyway, because it gives a lot better situational awareness, and it's easier to fit in with any other traffic, especially when you're online and they might not do what's expected. In reality, the FO would be doing the walk around, or in fairness, the pilot monitoring.
Golf Charlie Foxtrot, Mike apart at Alpha 2, ready for VFR departure to weather west.
So we would activate this, you do it independently, but run through it and check. But because we're single crewed, we're going to do that.
From the Cardiff radar, good evening. Were you routing northwest or southwest? Southwest, Golf Charlie Foxtrot. Golf Charlie Foxtrot, Mike Papa Roger, you're clear to
Now having a look.
Control zone via Churchill VRP, not above altitude 2,000 feet VFR, your squawk 5051.
Have a look at the distance, 262. Now that's quite a big difference, and that's because we haven't got the arrivals in just yet.
Not above 2,000 feet via Churchill, visual on squawk 5051. Golf Mike, Papa, correct. Are you ready for departure?
Somebody's got a stuck mic.
Open mic.
It's irritating. Oh god. Right, I'll tell you what, that's just irritating me, so I'm just going to switch to Unicom to calm it down. And Marius, hello again. Good to see you. I'm well, thank you. I hope you are doing well. That's just interrupted a bit of my flow. But anyway, we're fueled up. We've got the route sorted. We'll ask for clearance and stuff in a minute. Because we are fueled up, I'm going to pop the pumps on. First set for the belts on. And a quick scan, there's nothing out ordinary on the top there, we're still on ground power. And so bearing in mind, in reality, our scheduled off-blocks time is 19:45, we could start loading our pretend packs now. And then the fun will start.
Golf Charlie Foxtrot, Mike Papa, lining up. Golf Charlie Foxtrot, Mike Papa, Roger. Line up, runway 27, you are clear to take off for the left hand turn out the surface with 250 degrees, 16 knots, your clearance route backwards, correct.
so in reality we wouldn't hear all of that chat because it wouldn't be approach for 2 aerodromes that would be doing it. So I'm just going to keep that off for a moment. We are going to need to ask for clearance in just a moment. So at this point, Maris, while it's relatively light workload and I've pretty much done everything I need to, if you've got any questions, please feel free to ask. I am just writing down. We've got 5.5 tons of fuel. We've got a scheduled time of 5 minutes past 8, which will be quite a bit earlier. It's just a good idea to have that written down. Have an idea of how early you're going to be at your destination. So I've scribbled down how much fuel we've got, 5 each page, so I can check the fuel burn as we go. And then we'll have a look at performance calcs, which I will try and get up on the screen if I can. So, don't know what happened there. And what am I having for? So 0 fuel weights here. So over to perf, 0 fuel weight. Now in reality you'd get it from the load sheet and you'd write it onto this, but in the sim we can do that and it gives it to us, and we are still 200 kilos lighter, which from the payload is what we expected, so that's fine. So we're probably not going to use as much trip fuel, so that just gives us a little bit extra. We added a 15-minute reserve tonight. So trip and taxi 2362, round up to 2.4, round up again. I'm going to shut up, that's just round up once, 2362, plan and trip fuel. The reserves is 24, round up 25, round up again 2.6 tons. It's kind of irritating that it's that way round actually. You'd think if that was for the FMC info, you'd pop it in, human factors wise, pop in the one at the top and then the one after. But RYR always cost index 6. Now our trip is actually coming up at 2.4. Like I said, our flight plan, Brief gave us 3.8. I just don't think we could manage that even with an unrestricted climb. We've got at 6,000 until Brecon. So if we didn't get given a climb immediately, I don't know if it would work, and I'm pretty sure it takes that into account. So don't get it. We're going to pop 240. If we can get higher and we ask for it, then we will. But I just don't think we'll make 380. It seems mad. I mean, like I said, I know we're light, but yeah, mad. Top of climb wind is going to be the initial climb, which is 268,102. Which you could check by flipping the page over. Top of climb ISO +5. It's now perf done. So our performance calculations wise, we're 200 kilos lighter, not going to burn as much fuel. So when we've got the estimated takeoff weight of 61.5 here, if we take 200 kilos, no, the fuel will be the same. If we're 200 kilos lighter already, I think we're probably going to use the full 216. So maybe 100 off that, but I'm going to leave it as it is because that should give us a slightly increased margin. Refresh the weather, which is, oh, I tell a lie, it doesn't, 250 at 17, 8k, so the visibility is getting worse. It's not raining, so it's going to be anti-ice. Tell you what, I'm just talking to myself. I can actually get this on screen for you. There we go, that's what I'm looking at for the takeoff calculator. Anti-ice is off, flap optimum, engine bleeds are going to be on, thrust is going to be optimum. There's the payload that we'd set, so we'll give that. And okay, I don't know if it's something I've done or if it just doesn't have the data for Bristol, but it's giving us a full no D-rate takeoff and a takeoff run. 1479. I don't think Bristol is that short. Runway's dry, so it's nothing to do with that. Runway 272011. So I think you could take a D-rate from that, but that's what it's giving us. So that's what I'm going to plumb in. So nothing there, 26k. So there's literally nothing to do on the end page. But what is important, of course, is the takeoff run figure there, which is important to make sure that you're not going to run off the end of the run. Anyway, let me get that off screen because see that. Or oh, to click something else. Don't think that came up on screen. And it's off. Back to normal. So I do need it just for the reference of the V speeds. So it's going to be a flat 5 departure. We're going to have the CG in there and a trim of 6.5. Let's do that one. Think about it. Call up ready for departure clearance. No, it's runway 27 anyway. So I've got V speeds 132, 134, 143. Just going to take those. They're within 1 knot. Fine. Set 143. Yeah. So now we need to know what departure we're going to get. We know it's going to be runway 27. What I can do is I can already put in battery 1 arrival. I would need to go previous page, but never mind. Battery 1 Lima, and it's temporary. Let's check that. Put the hold in at that mode. I'm going to expect that we're going to get that. I'm going to put the descent forecast in as well, and I'm going to use 200, 150, 100. We might go higher. We'll see. So our forecast weather at Dublin. There is a SIGMET for severe mountain waves forecast basically within the whole of the VRYR out to the west, which is where we are. So that will be interesting. You can see that as these get longer, this is going to be quite a fun arrival into Dublin. So /002 is QNH, and over here our descent profile 259. So just save time in the cruise as soon as we've got enough time now. At 100, 261. 8-2, some pretty strong westerly winds. It's 2-6, 261, 60. This just makes the profile calculation that bit more accurate. So we'll pop that in back to our departure page, and we're going to expect Bracken 1 X-ray. And let me get a chart for that, just so you can see. There it is, 62 I've already put in, and we're going to ask for that clearance. Now I think I might have to check the weather, because this is looking significant wrong. Let's refresh the VATSIM weather. Don't know if Active Sky XP is playing up, but we should. That doesn't look overcast at 300 to me. So, sorry about that. No, let's just get rid of this one, because it just annoys me a little bit. I don't think I can just hide the screen just for a second while I faff about with checking. Got the weather sorted out. So it looks like it. Okay, 241, 15. Just does not look like that now. I really don't understand what's gone on there. Just not injecting it into the sim. Oh great, now we can't get it back. Oh, well done me. Imagine. I managed to break it. Okay, no, that worked. Right, let's not do that again. So, like I say, sorry about that. I really don't get what's happened there. But anyway, let's get the airplane off and ready, get our clearance, and get going. Oh, Bristol ground is now online, so 12192. Bristol ground, good evening, Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango.
Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango, Bristol ground, good evening.
Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango 738, stand 6, QNH 1008, information Zulu, request departure clearance to Dublin.
Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango, clear to Dublin, Brecon 1 X-ray departure, runway 27, squawk 4450.
Dublin, Brecon 1 X-ray departure, runway 27, squawk 4450, Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango.
Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango, read that correct.
So let's set our squawk. 4450. Brecon 1 X-ray, we've been cleared, so we can whack that in. And let's compare it with the chart. So it's going to be 268, it's going to be the localizer for the DME, and it's going to be AIRBORNE. It should be anyway, and at that point it's the initial stop is 6, so let's pop 6,000 to 0 because we've been cleared. So 268, the runway heading, which I'm just checking, it's 267 is the runway heading, so 268 initially. That's going to be off the Bristol NDB, and then we are going to be 330 inbound to Brecon. There's 11745. Oh, let me just get the chat back up just in case you ask any questions. I can see it. There we go. Better. So there's our nav aid set for departure. Identified, tuned, displayed. So IBTS, that's fine, that should match. I know why, because that's 267. No, 268. Weird, okay. Odd, okay, I suppose I think because it wasn't initially like that. And you've got the routing on here, so 27, climb straight ahead across D4, 4.5 miles of AIRBORNE or 5.2 IBTS, which is what we're going for. At or above 3,000, max 6, turn right, intercept radial 150, which is 330. Course inbound across D 20 miles, 20 DME from Brecon, above 4.5, max 6, and then 15 miles at 6 to Brecon. Probably get a further climb after that. So that is our departure. So let's get our pack sat down, get the APU started. I think Rick was having trouble here. Electrical management. Just started the APU there. It goes on and then it's sprung loaded. But that's the APU starting, so after a minute or two we will end up with some power. So let's shut the doors, get the ground services away. And then once we're sure we're ready to go, get on and push back. Cardiff approach and the west, so we'll probably be speaking to them and then Shannon, which if I need to go to the toilet quickly might be a little bit awkward. But we've got the entire route planned in, we've got the entire descent planned in. There's our top of climb. That's 24,000, so I think if we were going 3.8 up there, the way is that happening.
Runner 25 Yankee Golf, welcome to Bristol, taxi stand 2.
So the APU has started and is now stable, so let's get the APU gen on. Now we won't have any issues disconnecting the power. Let's get the door shut. Step up. Door shut, and let's get the better pushback tug attached. I am going to assume, given a pushback like this,
Ground to cockpit. Plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you're ready.
Because we're online, I want to make sure that the president.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
I want to make sure that our tow is connected before we request our push. So a bit more relaxed, but still relatively rapid. 9. Let's see if I can get push. So 27 with the fuel, 27 on the side. Just fill those in once we actually get push. What I'm going to do actually is just go for a quick pee while getting connected. So I'll just be back in 2 seconds.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect. Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Hello again, Rick. Sorry, just getting the mic set. Hello again, Rick. Good to see you. So we are connected. I am back and we are ready to push. So, keep the parking chart up. Bristol Grand Run F56 Oscar Tango stand 6 request push and start.
Run F56 Oscar Tango stand 6 push and start approved.
Push and start approved. Run F56 Oscar Tango. So we are ready to go. So out off. Let's get the light on. Let's get the engine displays on. As I said just before you arrived, Rick, the APU is on here and the power is on the bus, and that's why we haven't had any issues with battery discharge warning. So cabin secure, been cleared to push. It's 1951, parking brake is off.
Starting pushback and you may start engines.
Timer over there is set and we're pushing back with 2740 to 2750 kilos of fuel. It's a relatively quick push, so I'm not going to hang about with the engine start. To do that, packs off, not so bad. Well, still not comfortable, but that's when the AC goes off on the aeroplane, because all that bleed air demand is going towards the engine. That's slowed down and stopped. Okay. So, start engine number 2, start switch to ground. Done it with my external controller. Just watch for the oil pressure and the N2. Good tutorial, landed the plane not bad. Sometimes it switches to pilot. Okay. So that might be control wheel steering. Oh, there's 25%. Let's get the fuel on. I was just thinking and chatting. What I have is I have a key map to autopilot disconnect, and that's why I use to disconnect the autopilot. And in reality, there is a button. I don't see it on the yoke, but there is a button on the yoke to disconnect the autopilot. And on my controller, I just use a button. So that might help. You can use the disengage bar, but then that prevents anything from being reused.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Parking brake set.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
So you can use that, but you have to remember to pop it back up, so it then enables you to engage anything else. So that might be something to think about, because certainly if you push that I've never tried to disengage with pressure because CMD you can, but it's a lot quicker and a lot more realistic to do it on yoke. So anyway, we're disconnecting, so we'll start engine number 1. Disconnect the tug. We might actually be off bang on schedule because I've been chatting and faffing. Little concerned that no overcast clouds, despite the weather saying that we should. Don't know if I've broken something with active sky.
So is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Okay, bring it. Oh, don't know what I did there. I think you guys can't see what I'm doing in the background. Sorry if you can. Plane connected. Custom static mode. That's why. How has that changed? Custom static mode. Anyway, the engines are stable. Let's just make sure we've seen the pin. I'm just going to do the flow in a moment. I have no idea. Switch to live weather. I have no idea how that happened. Oh, I tell you what, it probably disconnected a while back. Should end up with a horrifically overcast Bristol. Live real-time mode, activity idle. Be nice if it actually updated. There we go, there's the pressure setting. So glad I checked that. That was a bit of a disaster. Right, so sorry about that, guys. Let's go through the full taxi flow. So we do the flow, then we do the checks. Propeat's on, engine anti-ice is going to be going on just after departure. Pumps are on, diff pressure 0. Just a quick scan through. One thing I did do is turn the electric hydraulic pumps off, don't tell virtual Rhino, they'll get upset. The pin we have seen, so we can go to flap 5. Blank the lower DU, 6.5 set. Just check that first. So, full forward, full aft, full left, full right, full left rudder, full right rudder. Controls checked, we check the trip, check the recall, before taxi checklist. Generators are both on because there's no blue lights. APU is off, start switches are both continuous. Propeat on, anti-ice not required initially. Air conditioning, cruise out, 2-4 set. And PAX auto, bleeds on, isolation valve, auto, flap 5, green light, stab trim 6.5, 6.5 set. Flight controls checked, recalls checked, we're ready to taxi. Rhino 56, Oscar Tango, request taxi.
Rhino 56, Oscar Tango, taxi, Holding Point Alpha X-ray, runway 27.
Holding Point Alpha X-ray, runway 27, Ryanair 56, Oscar Tango. So it's first left and then second right. So we've been cleared, lights can go on. Clear left, to clear right, back again looking forwards, brakes off, config check, which is just advance the throttles. In reality the aeroplane wouldn't move if you did that, but I think it spools up a little bit keenly in sim. Where is Bristol? So Bristol is out to the west of England. I'll show you on a map in a moment. I'm just moving my controller into position. It's in the way a little bit otherwise. Made a video of your... Yeah, that's good. That's what I started doing with these. And so I used to just video and then upload it for my own posterity. But now I just stream because it's easy, it's live, and then it just goes up to YouTube. But like you say, you can do some really good stuff about figuring out what you have done correctly or spotting any errors, and people can help point you in the right direction as well, which is good. And Bristol is here. So London is out over here, Bristol is out here, Wales, southwest of England. So that's where Bristol is. And it's a really short hop to Dublin, it's not far at all. Sorry, I'm just doing very well with the taxiing here, just struggling to find the right amount of throttle. So yeah, if you do have some issues, send us the link. We can have a look and see what you're doing. Try and vocalize what you're doing as well. Might be a bit difficult. It's a bit strange, sort of talking to yourself. But if you go through your thought process, that can help as well. So we said second on the right is what we want. We're not going to be ready for a super immediate departure, but we're not far off. Slow the aeroplane down a little. Let's see, Alpha 2 I've got. So maybe that has been updated. Yeah, so the scenery doesn't quite match. Anyway, that's the holding point. So, set the parking brake. Let's get cabin secure. We are going to be off the ground at 8 something.
Okay, the cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
Secure that. 2 set. Yeah, good. Okay, well I look forward to seeing that, Rick, and I think you'll have a great time getting a new yoke, so once you plug that in, that'll be very different. Bristol Tower, Ryanair 56, correction, Bristol Ground, Ryanair 56, Oscar Tango, holding Alpha X-ray.
Ryanair 56, Oscar Tango, I do apologise, contacts Bristol Radar 125.65, bye-bye.
Bristol Radar 125.65, thanks very much for the service, see you again soon. 125.65 might get given over to London or Cardiff, but let's see. Bristol Radar, good evening. Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango, holding Alpha X-ray. And it helps if I get the frequency right, 125.65, not 126. Bristol Radar, good evening. Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango, holding Alpha X-ray.
Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango, Bristol Radar, hello, line up runway 27, I'll call you back.
Line up runway 27, Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango. So, lights on. Taxi light goes off because we've been cleared line up only. Config check.
Correction, Cardiff Radar, Romeo Charlie, approaching Badminton.
So, config check. We cleared line up. So we shall. So if there's no ATC online, you can't use the game ATC with VATSIM on, so you just use the radio to announce your position. Do what you want really, as realistically as possible. So if you try and use realistic runways, etc.
Oscar Tango, apologies, hold position.
Holding Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango. Brake on. So yeah, if there was no one here, I would simply announce Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango lining up, taking off runway 27 for a Brecken 1 X-ray departure. I'd transmit that and just tell people what we were doing. So, who am I waiting for? This guy, who appears to have come out of nowhere. And let's zoom in, we can see him now. Looks like he's inbound as well.
Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango, line up runway 27.
Line up runway 27, Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango. So let's give it a little bit of beans to get on the runway. Go. Don't know why it's taking so long, we're quite light. Maybe I've broken it.
Cardiff Radar, Golf Romeo Charlie, approaching the M4 junction.
Approaching 27.
I can see that. Solid IMC.
Correction, Bristol Radar, roger. After M4 junction 18, you can route towards the field, not to about altitude 2,000 feet.
After M418, we can route the field at about 2,000 feet. Charlie.
Golf Charlie McCorrect and on track towards the field, clear to enter controlled airspace, start to about 2,000 feet, QNH 1008 and squawk 5070.
Alright, on route towards the field, clear to enter controlled airspace.
On runway 27.
008. 5070.
So I'm just holding the airplane on the brakes now.
Right, 56 Oscar Tango, runway 27, clear takeoff to 1250 degrees, 17 knots.
Clear takeoff runway 27, Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango. So up to 40%.
On this frequency, welcome to Bristol, taxi, stand to, correction, stand to 8.
Wait for the engines to stabilise, there's 40%, brakes off, power up, toga, time, off we go. So forward pressure on the yoke or control column, whatever you're using. Quite large rudder inputs needed to keep the aeroplane on the centre line initially. Feeling about 80 knots would neutralise the pressure on the control column, and then you just need smaller inputs of rudder to keep the aeroplane straight as the rudder becomes more effective.
V1, rotate.
1000, 2000, 310,
Positive rate.
gear up. LNAV, just verify the roll mode. We're into clouds, so I'm going to go command A.
1000.
No, I'm not.
Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango, contact corridor radar frequency 125.85, bye-bye.
Cardiff 125.85, thanks for the service, have a great night, Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango.
Good to see you.
So let's get, importantly, the anti-ice on. So quite a bit to do, 125.85. Bug the aeroplane up, there's no speed restriction on this SID. Cardiff radar, good evening. Again, Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango, Brecon 1 X-ray, passing altitude 3,500 feet, climbing altitude 6,000. Flap 1.
Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango, Cardiff radar, hello. Climb now, flight level 160.
Climb now, flight level 160, Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango. So 16, and we're going to stay in level change. So we're looking for 5 miles IBTS 5.2 before we start our turn. Passing flap 1, flap up. I'll have a look at your question in a moment. There we are, so 5.2 miles. We're cleared above, so because I don't have the out intervent, I'm not going to pop in VNAV just yet, because we'd out intervent all of those restrictions. So flap up speed, auto brake off, flaps up, no lights, gear off. Start switches can now go off, as can the anti-ice. All the pumps on. Go. Airplane's not pressurising yet, but diff pressure is increasing. Checked. We cleared to a flight level, so we set standard. As the after takeoff's done. So we are now out inbound towards Brecon. So we bug up to 250. Does it have random failures? It has failures. I haven't used them. So I don't think they're random. I think you can just fail them. X-Plane has random failures that you can pop in, and they will fail things like airspeed. And I got that the first couple of weeks, and it threw me. But it is quite good. But because I'm flying on one, I like to not have to practice those. Traffic isn't a threat, so that's one reason I don't have them on. Okay, Rick, so yeah, talking about descending again, but that's okay, you're still learning. I think, in fairness, it just takes a fair bit of practice to get an idea of the energy and to get an idea of arrivals, those sorts of things. So we are going up like a rocket, passing flight level 100, 4 pumps on. The airplane is now starting to pressurise. All the lights can go off. What I am going to do at this point is try and out to vent whilst popping that to about 275 initially. And just clearing the restrictions. Which is easier said than done. That's fine. We can go to VNAV now. perfect. A very happy aeroplane. I think we'll get given to West 12607. Just tuning that up already. As you can see there, I've just tuned it. But I don't have to look down to do it, which is really useful. Shannon 13115. So we took off at 8:04, 1 minute early. Surprising, really. A lot of faffing there, could have got done quicker. Places you in a random flight with low fuel. Okay, yeah, I don't know how well those situations work with Zibo, but I suppose they are quite good if you've got low fuel and you've got to use a VOR to try and figure out where you are. But yeah, if you don't expect it, it's quite strange. So yeah, I have all of the random failures in the plane turned off and tend not to use it. Yeah.
1,000 to go.
Runway 56 Oscar Tango, request further climb. We are going to capture if we don't get anything. Irritating. 585.
Good evening, Golf Charlie here. Alpha Mike requesting deconfliction service.
I don't think he's...
Runway 56 Oscar Tango, contact London Control 125, Bristol 126.075.
London 126.075, thanks for the service, great event, and have a great night. 56 Oscar Tango.
Cheers, yeah.
London Center, Speedbird 303.
So,
I'm
3115.
just calling, call sign only, please. Speedbird 303. Speedbird 303, Roger, where are you? Sorry, sir, are you in the west airspace?
Oh, please.
Center, you got the fire plant. We are going to AIRBORNE Lima Lima, Speedbird 303.
Heathrow.
No, I've not got your flight plan. You're not in my airspace. Unicom, please, 123.8.
Really?
To advantage of the
And a good evening, Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango, Brecon 1 X-ray, flight level 160, request climb.
56 Oscar Tango, London, Roger, climb now, flight level 240.
Climb now, flight level 240, thanks Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango. I'm going to just pop in level change and then
Good evening, 10 carry on.
pop in VNAV just because it's difficult for me to grab the out intervent button there, which is what you would press. You see it's covered up, so I really do need to get that mapped to a joystick button because then I can just leave it in VNAV. So if we go for flight level 380, I'm kind of curious to see where we'd end up. I think we could get to 380 by Strumble. Anyway, that is our final cruise. So VNAV should square us away, and it has. So set once, set twice, 3 times. So it's going to take us 10 minutes to get.
56 Oscar Tango, redirect battery.
Redirect VATSIM and request climb flight level 380, Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango.
56 Oscar Tango, climb now, flight level 380.
Climb now, flight level 380, Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango, thanks. Just want to see if we can do it. So we need to set the pressurization controller up to 3.8 for a step climb. We need to out intervent as well. That will then update our cruise altitude.
56 Oscar Tango, looks like your squawk has suddenly, been taken somewhere. So also set squawk 0363.
Squawk 0363 will go Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango. So we're going to do that just in a second because we've been given direct battery. Direct battery 0, 3, 6, 3. Oh, come on. There we go. So we're squawked, we're on our way to VATSIM, we've passed 200, so I've missed the 10 check, and the aeroplane is now still happily climbing. I just want to see if we can get up to 380. Is it beneficial? I don't know, SIBRIEF says it was, so you saw that you can select fuel beginning. Okay, so with normal X-plane flights you can select when you set the flight up how much fuel you've got. But it's important with Zibo that you do it through this bit on tab. Otherwise it messes it up for some reason. So set the fuel to short, long, or like instant, I think. Short, long, real. If you set it to short, it does it immediately. I think you've still got to press for the fuel truck, but you don't have to wait. So yeah, just one thing that might catch you. Anyway, let's have a look for the frequency for Dublin 124525. Move to 5. Listen to the 80s. Little bit. Not doing any of the route plan because it's been quite busy. Obviously, pilot monitoring would do that whilst pilot flying was flying. Bracken. And we can load up the charts. So when it comes to descent for you, Nick, having the charts is really helpful. Arrival, so battery 1 X-ray is what we filed because that's what SIBRIEF gave us, but I don't think that we're going to get that. We tend to use the battery 1 Lima, which is this, which is a point merge. So the 1 X-ray is just a little bit more direct. We might get something similar to that, but what they like to use, especially where it's busy, and this is, let's say, the cutting edge of terminal design, but it's effectively a DME arc. It's not far off, but it's a point merge. All of these are at the same height. They're relatively high, so it's somewhat efficient. What they can do is they bring you in, you follow the arrival, and at any one of these points you can just be broken off and sent direct to the initial approach fix here, and you know, someone else could be broken off there. You can, sorry, so somebody could get broken off there, go around, get broken off there, and that'll help work out their spacing. So that's what I'm expecting, and it makes it easy when you're doing it yourself online as well.
Center Speedbird 1238 with you at
interesting points.
climbing through 25.
This gives us. This is really nice and easy. So you can see people flowing in, and then you can just slot in behind them. So it's even useful when you're not online. So our next frequency, Shannon, we've got queued up, and VATSIM, as I said, is the FIR boundary. And the only restriction is of cruise. So descent planning. Okay, I mean this might still have gone spectacularly wrong. The flight restriction is Sorin 70, battery at 182. So yeah, I don't think we're going to make this. Even though we've basically had a continuous climb, don't think we're going to make it. We're in F56 Oscar Tango, request stop climb, flight level 300.
Stop climb, flight level 300.
Stop climb, flight level 300, thanks, Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango.
1,000 to go.
So,
Hello, Ryanair 54 Juliet, flight level 320 for 34 inbound Dickers.
so we should be able to out into vent. Doesn't work, so 300 there.
54 Juliet.
So yeah, I don't think that would have worked. It was worth a try though. I was just interested to see why SIBRIEF gave it to us. And if we'd stuck to the SID restriction, it definitely would have worked. Because that was all over the place. I mean, I know we've got 40 miles, but just it was a little bit close.
You're shaving past my airspace, 122.122, enjoy your flight to Gatwick.
So let's have a look at our progress. How are we doing fuel-wise? We're going to get there with 3.1, so we're going to burn.
Then 54 Juliet, London identified.
So 2056. So we reckon so we are going to end up with 4.1. So we're going to 59.2 on arrival. It might be a bit higher than that. So what I'm going to go for is 59.5, just because it's a safer bet in case we get shortcuts. 59,500. I think it's going to be 28 at Dublin. Update the calcs.
Right now for so cushion 54 Juliet, London, direct Dublin. Direct Dublin 905 Juliet.
And having a look at these, I'm going to pop Collinstown is already on there, Dublin 1149. Second of the OR, ILS 4. Yeah, good. Sorry, messed it up. ILS runway 28 is yeah, and having not heard the weather, we might need to cancel it, but it's not going to be any different, it's just the minimums that are different. So we want 1, 1, 5, and 1, 1, 5, just in case. Which we have got here as well. So 278. Adjust that as required. So I'm going to do the landing count during the descent. Let's jump to the J plane, see what's about. Quite interesting. Yeah. Maybe it's realistic. I think I'd like to know somewhere, but I mean it is possible to get lost. I've only ever been.
Expected battery 1 X-ray.
Battery 1 X-ray, thanks Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango. So they are quiet, so they have done that. Let's see what that changes. It's not going to change much. May change our fuel on arrival. Just cuts off that point merge, but I like that point merge. So there we go. That's increased it by 300 kilos, and I think I went, oh look, 300 kilos I made the estimate, so well done me. That wasn't too bad. Top of descent, we're not far off. Had a chance to listen to the ATIS. Like I say, we'll have a think about the auto brake and the performance. We're definitely going to need at least auto brake 2, so I'm going to pop that on just before we start deselling. All that drama, I managed to not release the packs, so they'll be busting for a P. 7752. Sure that should update it. Okay, it had. Fine. And so get charts for Dublin. I'm just going to have to adjust that because I had. There's factory 1 X-ray, so we can get rid of that one. You can see it's not much different. It just takes us straight in, which we could have been given anyway. So factory 1 X-ray, factory 1 X-ray. So I've just got my iPad sorted out. Do I do the wind correction calculation thing in regards to landing? Yes, do. So sometimes I'll pop it in just so I remember, but of course we need the ATIS for that, which is what I need to listen to. We're probably going to get handed over, but I'll pop the ATIS on now.
Right, 56 Oscar Tango, when ready, descent flight level 240.
When ready, descent flight level 240, Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango. So what we're going to do, we're going to set 240, we've been cleared. Because it was when ready, we don't have to start straight away, so the aeroplane is already bringing the throttles back. But because we've set it, we're in VNAV, the aeroplane will descend at the top of descent point, and we'll just tell them that we're descending. So what I was going to do was try and get the weather 124525. 125 that I'm not paying attention. There we go. Let's listen to the
This is
ATIS.
Iowa Information Delta. At Tom 1900, expect ILS approach runway 28 in use. Transition level 65. Wind 280 degrees 15 knots. Visibility 10 kilometers clouds. Few clouds at CB 2200 feet, standard 2800 feet. Temperature 6. Dew point 4 QNH 1003. No significant change. Advise on initial contact. You have information, Delta.
Let's see if that matches with what we can get from here, because you can of course use this as well. Just wonder if it is the same, because it is quite useful. So ATIS 22004, so it is slightly different. Anyway, we've got a relatively high cloud base, and 260 at 9 means that it's, and even 250, no 280 at 15 was what we had. So we'll just talk about that in a sec. I'm just going to figure out what we've got. So the landing runway it's basically all the way down the run, and so we're going to have a wind correction of half the steady headwind, which in that case is going to be 7.5, 8 knots. Because it's not gusting, I'm just going to be cheeky and put 7. Doesn't matter, 7 or 8. Takeoff. Performance calculator. No, I tell a lie. I think I've just informed you incorrectly. So, no, that's still got 260 at 9. So no, I have done it correctly. So it's half the steady headwind component, all of the gust, and descending. So I'll just let them know. And a Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango leaving flight level 300. So yeah, it's easy when it's straight down the run, otherwise you've got to try and estimate it. You can use a table, you can use MDR, or you can use actual trigonometry. But yeah, half the steady headwind component I'll put in, so 7 or 8 knots. It's quite important to do that, because that's just gives you the margin against the wind and some extra inertia. So checked. Let's just have a look. So
London Control, hello, this is Bravo Alpha 45, requesting ILS approach on runway 27 right, Manchester.
27.
Speedbird 45. Guess you do. It's Speedbird, not PA. I don't cover Manchester, sir, so I would stick with you to come 122 decimal 8. Very best of luck with the ILS.
Very best of luck. If I get a wrong one, I don't think it's 27 at Manchester.
Okay, roger that. I'll stay on
It's 250
for my approach. Okay, have a nice day.
You too, sir. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So, where are we? I'm just looking at the performance calculation, giving us flat 40, which I don't really want, because I don't think it's needed. It's auto brake, flat 40, auto brake 2 and 30 is about the same. So there's an increased fuel burn on approach. The first high-speed taxiway at Sierra 5 is 1953 from touchdown. So auto brake 2 is fine. Flap 30 is what I'm going to go for.
Last second call is fine.
So flap 30. 142. So it's either 149 or 150.
Hotel, Roger, welcome back. Break. Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango, contact Shannon 131.15, bye-bye.
Shannon 131.150, thanks for the service, have a great night, Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango. So, just queuing up the next frequency as well, having a look, you can get it from the plates in reality. Shannon is online, Dublin Tower is online, 18.6. So I've got that tuned. Shannon, good evening, Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango. Flight level 240, inbound VATSIM, expecting VATSIM 1 X-ray. Information Delta.
Ryder 56 Oscar Tango, Shannon, good evening. Identified cleared battery 1 Lima, arrival for runway 28 and descent flight level 150.
Cleared factory 1 Lima, runway 28, descent flight level 150, Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango. So there's no difference with that initial bit. 50.
Easy 712, good evening. Identified route director Lapmo, Lima Alpha Papa Mike Oscar.
Direct to Lapmo, you
So you see there's no difference with the initial point.
The ILS approach to runway 28, engine number 1.
And we've been given a descent, so out into vent. And you can see that we are now too high. So this is probably a good point to have a think. VNAV path means that the aeroplane is going to pitch down quite spectacularly for that. So I've got speed brake out. See that the aeroplane is going down like a stone. VNAV path will prioritise path over speed, but I think it might be a little bit aggressive. See there. So I'm going to pop the speed brake in. The excess speed is not necessarily too much of a problem. By the way, I hope I did answer the question about the headwind component for the wind correction. I hope you got where I got that from. Obviously it's busy and we've now been given a new arrival, so I've got to get the charts up again, switch them around. So battery 1, like I said, I was pretty sure I'd get that one, but I guess they just didn't hand over.
Shark 5 got Papa, no problem. Climb flight level 230 and report your passing level. Climb level 301, we are passing through 201.
So you see the profile has come back now because the aeroplane is pitched for it.
Tango identifies confirmed the level, flight level 230. 230, confirm. Affirm. Stand 230, Sandra 5, Papa. Easy 712, speed 250 knots or greater.
So let's get the speed brake out just to get rid of some of this excess energy. So Rick, this is probably a good one if you did an Amsterdam, if you did a leg from Schiphol into Dublin. Any of these point merge.
Descent flight level 80.
Descent flight level 80, Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango. Any of these point merge would be really good for you, and you'd get the trend, the vertical path trend vector here. It's not a trend vector, it's a vertical path indicator. Help you with the descent. So what I have forgotten to do is pop in. Busy. We probably won't get that hold at that moment, but I'm going to leave it until definitely. Runway 28. I think it's going to be VMC. So we'll pop 4 miles in. If it isn't, we'll configure at 5.
Altitude 3,000 feet, the Dublin QNH 1. Actually, stand by.
Do you need to put the QNH in? Oh, I had 1003, no change.
To descend to altitude 3,000 feet, the QNH 1004.
Knock it up.
Descend altitude 3,000 feet, QNH 1004, thank you much.
You can see the airplane has settled down a bit more now.
Level 90. Level 90, so about 265 out.
Got that. So, have a look at that. For a standard ILS, Cat 1 ILS, Category C, that's the visibility all the categories need. And we've got 10k at least, so that's fine. Crown base was greater than 200 feet. So 402. So, approach minima. The approach brief is essentially going to be following this around. The wrong one, isn't it? Restart again. So battery 1 Lima. It's 28. Standard ILS 28. Airport. That gives you an idea of the overview. So, here's our approach. We will get broken off at some point from any of these. We'll probably get given direct LATMO rather than SOPET because it's not busy. Not as busy. we will expect that we won't have that hole, but we're going to leave it in just in case we need it or we are instructed.
265 Bravo descent, flight level 80 and after bank, so route direct lap over. Flight level 80 and then
11135. Set both.
56 Oscar Tango, descent flight level 70.
Descent flight level 70, runway 56 Oscar Tango. Course 279 in reality, it's 278 in the sim, which we can confirm here. 1 degree wouldn't make too much of a difference. Mandatory glide slope intercept at Maxev. It's 2.5, but we'll actually intercept it at 3 quite comfortably. But that's the point at which we're going to check 2.5 at Maxev. 402, and the aerodrome elevation 250 is good for the pressurization. Our missed approach is straight into 3000, turn right to go inbound. 278 radial, which is course of 09 inbound to Dublin and up to 5000, or as directed. Probably give us vectors. So that is the approach.
612, thank you. Radar contact, route direct to Everett.
We can get the pretend pack sat down. They've had their chance for a P now. And you can see the aeroplane. Cabin altitude is descending, diff pressure is dropping. So the next Q is 10,000.
265 Bravo, descent to altitude 3,000 feet. The Dublin QNH. Copy 3,000 feet, and I just missed the QNH for 265 Bravo.
So I don't know how useful this is for you guys, but it's a bit chaotic because obviously there's only me doing it, and there's quite a lot of stuff going on. Aviate, navigate, communicate. Like I say, I hope it helps. But I know it's a bit rushed, guys. I've got this in front of me, queued up, but that's effectively where we're going to be. And if we just zoom in on the plan, there's the aeroplane decelerating at flight level 100. A little bit of speed brake to help get us below 250. We're going to need to be at 230 there, so there's a decel which might be a little bit late. Passing flight level 100, pumps are on, all the forward facing lights go on, the belts are on, and the plane is depressurizing. So we might struggle to make that restriction, and if we have got a little bit of excess energy, we can always ask to just go to the next point. But I know that we can quite well from here, and so much so that actually the aeroplane has lost a little bit of energy there. And if we are worried about speed creeping up or getting too low, it is a little bit gusty, we can always use speed intervent to get the aeroplane to 230, which I might try there. That may knacker the path a little bit. Thanks Rick, have a good evening. If you've got any other questions, always feel free to ask. Can't promise that I review the videos afterwards, but I don't know if you can send me a message or anything. But send me the link to your video and I'll have a look when you get it uploaded.
6160, apologies, my client crashed there second.
So we need to get back on the path. We're only a little bit high, a little bit of speed brake will help solve that.
Roger, climb now, flight level 370.
But you can see it is looking a little bit gusty. Airplane's diving pretty dirtily there. Get back on path. Correction, we are on beaten speed, so...
Ryder 56, Quebec Tango, reduce speed 230 knots for a direct lap mode.
Speed 230 knots, direct Lamo, Ryanair 56, Oscar Tango. Thanks Rick.
1,000 to go.
So, direct Lamo.
Number 265 Bravo, reduce speed 190 knots. Back 190, go back 265 Bravo.
No, we don't want that.
1,000 to go.
So what we're going to do, pop it in vertical speed. We will get given a descent in a moment. Sorry, that was a little bit messy. I'm going to get some speed brake out.
so to establish the ILS.
Easy 712, thanks. Speed 160 knots up to the 40 and contact the tower. 118.6, go ahead.
Right, 186, we've got tuned.
160 knots, contact tower. Can you repeat the frequency again?
It's 118.6.
118.6, 5 for what tuned.
So I've just got rid of the hold.
Bye-bye.
By Stubber 265 Bravo from that mode, cleared ILS approach runway 28.
So that's that one there by the looks of things.
Cleared ILS 28, Stubber 265 Bravo.
We might get
56 Quebec Tango, descend to altitude 4,000 feet, QNH 1004.
descend altitude 4,000 feet, QNH 1004, Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango.
Channel Ryanair 54, Juliet, Juliet, reflectable 277 for 240, inbound bad C738 with Delta.
So that seems a little bit quick.
Ryanair 54, Juliet, Juliet, good evening,
So
identified,
let's
cleared Lima 1 Lima.
peg about there.
28, descend flight level 200.
200, Alpha Lima 28, 5 for Juliet, Juliet.
Stubber 265 Bravo, speed 180 until localizer established. Speed 180, emergency open established on the localizer.
Interesting that we have an engine low pressure capture. That could be a random failure.
Oscar Hotel Golf Tango Hotel Shannon, good evening, passenger message. Shannon Oscar Tango Hotel is 15 miles east of Waterford for zone entry, full stop. Oscar Tango Hotel, Roger, clear to enter zone to the east. The QNH is 1006 hectopascals and the active runway 03, I believe. So 3 is coming 1006 on entry, please, Oscar Tango Hotel.
Dublin Center, hello. This is EZ293 Papa.
Interesting.
Passing flight level 300.
EZ293 Papa.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check.
Identified, cleared, direct bank, so...
I'm surprised there wasn't a caution for it, but that's why they've got electronic pumps to go with ENG as well.
Boxo arrival, island 28, Boxo 1 kilo. Arrival,
1,000 to go.
I think it's your fault, Maris, for
56 Quebec Tango, speed 180 knots, descend to altitude 3,000 feet.
speed 180 knots, descend altitude 3,000 feet, Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango. So, do appear to be a little bit all over the place.
Stubber 265 Bravo, speed 160 knots until 4 DME, contact the tower, 118.6, go ahead. 160 to 4 and tower on.
And I've got the green banana bang on where we need to be. So I think it's just because the weather is gusting.
54 Juliet, Juliet, descend to flight level 150.
150 and 54 Juliet, Juliet.
It's the weather being, I think, better than default, but it's still a bit interesting.
Papa, now descending flight level 240 from
1,000 to go.
280.
EZ293 Papa, Roger, descend to flight level 150.
So,
Descend flight level 150, EZ293 Papa.
VNAV, but
56 Quebec Tango from Lapo, cleared ILS approach, runway 28, report established.
from Latmo, cleared ILS 28, Wilco Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango. So there's not a lot I can do about that.
125, Shannon, good evening, identified, cleared Lima 1 Lima.
So we are cleared.
Descend to flight level 80.
Warlock.
Lima 1 Lima, arrival for runway 28, descend to flight level 80, Sherman 125. Good evening, Charlie Hotel.
So passing flap up, flap 1. Speed brake is still out, so we're going to shut that
Shannon, good
arm.
evening, just report your passing level.
Just passing flight level
Localizer capture.
332.
The aeroplane is pretty much all over the place.
Jetset 2G Charlie Hotel Banks identified, route direct to the WOR and descend to flight level
Okay,
240.
go flap 2 at that point.
Overhead dump.
Direct to WR, flight level 240.
Frame rate's alright. We've been cleared for the approach, but we're just outside the localizer.
Hello, this is EZ293 Papa.
Approach
Could you
armed.
confirm ILS 28 and Boxo 1 Lima or 1 kilo, arrival.
Easy 292 Papa A firm, ILS runway 28, it's the bag, so 1 Lima arrival.
Line slip capture.
Back to 1 Lima and ILS 28. Easy 293 Papa. Thank you.
Oscar Tango Hotel, you're cleared to land, runway 03, the wind 310 degrees at 4 knots.
Command Lee, Oscar Tango.
Rhino 56 Oscar Tango, ILS established, 28, 8 miles.
Ryder 56 Oscar Tango, thank you. Reduce speed 160 knots, maintain until 4 DME and contact the tower 18.6 leaving.
160 until 4, tower 118.6. Thanks very much for the service. Have a great night, Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango.
Thanks for flying, bye.
So the airplane's probably going to struggle to get that speed back. So we'll go flat 5 early. Dublin Tower, good evening, Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango. Established ILS 28, 6.5 miles.
Ryanair 5060 Tango, Roger, continue approach number 2, surface wind check 260 degrees 0 minutes.
Continue approach number 2, copy the wind, Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango. So 260 at 9 knots is still have a little bit of additional energy. It's reduced down actually.
You have this starboard to hold short of 28, however, after the landing starboard a TR-76 landed from runway 289.
So we want to configure it to 4 miles.
And Ryanair 560 Tango reduced the minimum approach speed.
Minimum approach, Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango. So gear down, flap 15.
Easy 712 hold position, give way to the starboard lead, completing on
There we go, 149. Flap 15, flap 25. Flap 30. Gear down 3 green landing flap. Speed brakes armed. It's checked. All lights are on. Stop switch is continuous. Just holding on the landing clearance.
Clear for takeoff, roll down, surface and check 260 degrees 09 knots.
Plane is stable.
12, continue taxi Sierra, continue on hold to short runway 1634.
Straight ahead 3000 for the mist.
1,000 feet, stabilized, Mr. Perch, altitude set.
Let's disconnect everything.
Approaching 28.
Could be a late landing clearance, but he's not going to want us to go around.
400. 300.
Ryanair 560 Tango, runway 28, clear to land.
They land Ryanair 56 Oscar
Approaching
Tango.
minimums. 200.
Minimums continue. Now that's a mist.
Minimums. 100.
So here at flap 15.
Ryanair 668 over to channel control 131.
That's not flap 15. Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango, Mr. Bridge.
Ryanair 560 Tango, Roger, standby.
So then stable, let's go. Flat 5.
Virgin 5, standby. Ryanair 560 Tango, turn right, heading 360 degrees, stop on 3,000 feet.
Right, heading 360 degrees, stop at altitude 3000 feet, Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango.
And Virgin 55 push on Sarah's approved face, seeing East Q and H1004.
So a little bit of a messy mist.
Virgin start through, station East, Virgin standby. And Ryanair 560 Tango, when able, contact channel control 131.15.
When able, Shannon 131.15. Thanks, Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango. So flap 1. It's about 3000.
Easy 712, Cross flight 1634, link 4 stand 203.
Flap up. That's just going through 360, so get the airplane.
Air 3 Papa. Fighter 54 Juliet, Juliet, speed 230 knots. 230 knots, Fighter 54 Juliet.
So let's get
Sharp
far too high.
Altitude 3,000 feet from Lapo, cleared out, that's approach runway 28.
Let's get the airplane settled down.
From Lapo, cleared out, that's 28. Quantify.
Shannon Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango with you again, Mr. Approach Dublin. Radar heading 360 degrees and just correcting to altitude 3,000 feet. Jeez, speed. Continuous cleared, Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango. So let's get airplane.
Driver 546, actually, flight heading 180 degrees will be vectors for descent and expect direct to Lapo again shortly. Heading 180, vectors for descent and expect for Lapo shortly, runway 546.
So set up and off.
Hey, for if you can expedite the descent, that would be great. No speed restrictions.
I was a bit busy. Where are we going?
Sorry, was that for Prime 546?
Gosh.
Hey, firm, if you could just give me a good rate of descent, that would be great. Yeah, sure, sorry about that. Will do. Prime
1,000 to go.
Bank angle. Bank angle.
Ryanair 54 Juliet, Juliet descent.
Fly the airplane.
Stop out of 70, Ryanair 54 Juliet, Juliet. Ryanair 56 Quebec Tango, turn right heading 100 degrees.
Right heading 100 degrees, Ryanair 56
1,000
Oscar
to go.
Tango.
Sorry, it's Oscar.
It's alright, I've got my hands full. So heading
1,000 to go.
vertical speed. But the speed is all over the place just because of the weather. So I'm going to blame that on my exceptionally poor hand flying skills, and it's very difficult to get the MCP set up for missed approach if you're flying it manually. So let's get back down to 3,000. Set back up for the approach. So legs, I think we are going to go on to go.
Primer 546, stop the descent, flight level 90. Stop descent, flight level 90, Ryanair 546. Ryanair 56, Quebec Tango, turn right heading 130 degrees.
Right, heading, sorry, say again the heading, Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango.
Right turn heading 130 degrees.
Right, 130 degrees, Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango.
Ryanair 54 Juliet, Juliet, flight heading 355 degrees. 355, Ryanair 54 Juliet, Juliet. Easy 293 Papa, descent, flight level 80.
I know what's going on there.
Descent flight level 80,
No, I don't.
easy 293
I really don't.
Papa.
What has gone on?
Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango, descent to altitude 2,000 feet, the QNH 1004.
Descent altitude 2,000 feet, QNH 1004, Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango. Now 500 feet a minute. It's going to turn us in from XIV. So let's do that.
1,000 to go.
Let's go flap 1.
Jet set 2T Charlie Hotel, descent flight level 140 to be level by Nevery. That's 140 to be level by Nevery, Jet set 2T Charlie Hotel.
As you can see, this is all over the place tonight.
Primer 546, just for the sequence, I'm going to bring you south for about another 7 miles and then turn you back up to the north. Yeah, sounds good. Thank you, Prime 546. Ryanair 54 Juliet, Juliet, descend to altitude 3,000 feet, the QNH 1004.
2,500.
1004, 3,000 feet, Ryanair 54 Juliet, Juliet. Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango, further right heading 160 degrees.
Right heading 160 degrees, Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango.
Ryanair 54 Juliet, Juliet, route right Lapo.
Juliet, Juliet.
Primer 546, descend flight level 70. Descend flight level 70, prime 546.
So,
Ryder 56 Oscar Tango, I probably should have asked you earlier, but are you okay for 6 mile final?
hey firm, we can have a go, Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango.
Lovely, thank you.
So, I mean, that should give us more than enough.
Primer 546, turn left heading 0 degrees. Left heading 0 degrees, prime 546.
Just doesn't help that the speed is all over the place, so even if I disconnect, I think I'll auto throttle.
Ryder 56 Oscar Tango, turn right heading 250 degrees.
Right, heading 250 degrees, Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango.
Ryder 56 Oscar Tango, on the heading cleared, ILS approach runway 28.
Good, ILS approach runway 28, Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango.
Primer 546, turn left now, route direct to Latmo. Left direct to Latmo, it's prime 546. Affirm.
So, might be something of a steep.
Ryder 54, Juliet, speed 180 knots until localizer established from Latmo cleared. RNAV approach runway 28 for established number 2.
Just to 180 knots and from that cleared or nav runway 28 on 54 Juliet, Juliet.
So it's not bad. 6 mile final for the vectors. Just waiting for the localizer, which should start coming alive soon. We'll see how mod copes with that as an intercept. Localizer alive. Localizer capture.
About 890 Shannon, good evening. Cleared Sligo via Korak, flight level 180, squawk 6643. Back right.
Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango, ILS established 285.5 miles.
Ryder 56 Oscar Tango, thank you. Number 1, contact Tower 18.6, good evening.
Tower 18.6, number 1, thanks. Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango. Double Tower, good evening again. Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango, established ILS 285 miles.
Ryder 560 Tango, double tower, hello. Enter and check 250 degrees, 07 knots, runway 28, clear to land.
Clear then, runway 28, Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango. Gonna pick a better call sign next time. So 4 miles, gear down, flap 15. Speed brake armed, auto brake set, flap 15, gear down, 3 green, all the lights on, start switching continuous, cabin secure. That is all over the place. So we'll go for 149 again. The airplane is still probably trimming.
Virgin 55 from Whiskey 2, enter right runway
1,000.
short runway 28.
1,000 feet, stabilized, Mr. Perch, altitude set.
Plane's out trim.
Enter onto runway 3416, turn around and hold at runway 28, 13, first side.
A little bit high.
Approaching 28.
Correct with that, but we just want to make sure we don't get the rate of descent above 1,000. Not a very strong wind, but we are all over the place, so this looks like max deviation there.
No tower low, runway 54 Juliet Juliet, or now
Five.
Still on the pappies.
runway 54 Juliet Juliet, on tower leaving 0
400.
0 degrees 0 7 knots, continue approach number 2.
300.
Continue 54 Juliet Juliet.
See if we can rescue this.
Approaching minimums.
Shamrock 125.
200.
Conversion passes from left right, cross runway 1634, link 4.
Minimums.
Right on to
Continue.
100.
And we pass conversion now,
50,
cross
40, 30, 20,
4.
10.
Shamrock 125.
We'll be down in the touchdown zone.
Stand 402 Romeo. Stand 402 Romeo.
That was not ideal. But we got down. So,
Version 55, are you ready for immediate departure?
No, not sorry, Virgin 55.
80 knots.
manual braking.
Report ready, brake, Ryanair 56, Oscar Tango, apologies, vacate Sierra 5, right on Sierra.
okay, Sierra 5, right Sierra, Ryanair 56, Oscar Tango.
Shamrock 125, after the second right onto the apron, continue taxi onto the apron, and it'll be the left to stand 402 Romeo. Now right at the right onto the apron now, taxi, stand 402 Romeo, Shamrock 125.
There's the airplane stable. So let's go right Sierra and then get the airplane cleaned up.
Double tower is 72's back with you again. We have the free.
Station calling, you've broken up.
U72 with information Foxtrot, stand 203, requesting clear smash gesture.
AC 712, just confirm I have given you the landing or the pressure clearance already.
Negative, you haven't.
AC 712, roger, clear to Manchester, Liffey 5 Alpha, departure runway 28, squawk 6615, departure frequency, Shannon control 131.15.
Clear to Manchester by the Liffey 5 Alpha departure, squawk 6615, departure frequency 131.15 still from Manchester 72.
AC 712, correct, report ready, brake, Ryanair 54 Juliet, Juliet, runway 28, clear to land. Clear to land, Ryanair 54 Juliet, Juliet.
That's busy into Dublin.
We're ready for departure now, Virgin 55.
Version 55, roger, after the landing Ryanair.
Temps are good.
Correction behind the landing Ryanair, line up on runway 22, I need to be behind.
Line up and we're behind the landing Ryanair, Virgin 55.
So I'm just reading about the transponder setting on ground. Auto or select
Ryanair
on.
56, Oscar Tango, continue taxi, Sierra, Whiskey 2, Whiskey 3, hold a short runway 1634.
Taxi Sierra, Whiskey 2, Whiskey 3, hold short 1634, Ryanair 56, Oscar Tango. So let's just have a look at the airport chart. It is cheating. This one shows up. Interesting. Whiskey 2, Whiskey 3, so we're going to be going up I think 5-way. So first left and then Whiskey 3 again. Let's just get the speed back, we're going a little bit quick.
Double Tower, Shamrock, 1 Tango Victor, at stand Bravo 34 with information Foxtrot, busy copy, AIRBORNE, clears to Chicago. Shamrock 1 Tango Victor, Dublin Tower, good evening, clear to destination on the Anchor 5 Alpha, departure runway 28, squawk 6645, departure frequency, Shannon control 131.15. Clear Chicago Air Force file via the Anchor 5 Alpha departure, squawk 6641, correct? And
Second left.
Shamrock 1 Tango Victor, negative squawk 6645 and departure frequency 131.15. Roger, sorry, squawk 6645 and departure 131.15, Shamrock 1 Tango Victor. Shamrock 1 Tango Victor, correct report ready. Ryanair 54 Juliet, Juliet, welcome to Dublin, vacate Sierra 5, right on Sierra. Sierra 5, Sierra, Ryanair 54 Juliet, Juliet. Version 55, surface wind check 250 degrees, 07 knots, runway 28 cleared for takeoff.
Tower is pretty busy.
Runway 28, Virgin 55.
Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango from Whiskey 3 across runway 1634, link 5, stand by choice.
That's 1634, link 5, stand by choice. Thanks very much, Ryanair 56 Oscar Tango. So let's
Approaching
get the APU
3,
on
4.
to pick up any stands over here.
Dublin Tower, Prime 546 with you.
So what do I think of the scenery? It's pretty good. Certainly pretty good
We are inbound
buildings
on ILS
and
428.
vehicles wise.
I believe second.
I think some of the markings and stuff, and taxiways are a bit, nothing special.
Wind 250 at 7, and clear to land, Prime 546.
And we'll just take a stand on the left. And hopefully with some stand guidance, be really good.
Just about to pass 4,000 Virgin first size.
Virgin 55, thank you. Contact China now 131.15. Good evening.
What we have got is slightly better markings for standers.
Contact Chen on 131.15. Virgin first
So
size.
let's go stand 122.
And Ryanair 54 Juliet taxi Sierra Whiskey 2 Whiskey 3 hold short runway 1634.
Whiskey 2, Whiskey 3, hold short 1634, and 54 Juliet.
Shamrock 1 Tango Victor ready for push and start. Shamrock 1 Tango Victor push and start approved. Face out QNH 1004. Clear push and start face south QNH 1004.
Just follow the marshaller. I'm convinced it's going to be the best on stand. Do us. It's pretty cool. So on stand 2105, stand 22. Stop the clock, pop the engines up. Mondo can go standby now. He's on. Crew can go. No pressure, I'm going to check why we've got that. Two blues.
Ryanair 54 Juliet from Whiskey 3 cross runway 1634 link 5 stand up short.
Engine's dead.
Cross 16 Whiskey, Papa 1, link 5, Sunny Choice, Ryanair 54 Juliet.
Wait for 20%.
Prime 546, welcome to Dublin, vacate CR5.
Bingo.
Ryanair Sierra best taxi speed.
Vacate Sierra 5 right on Sierra and best taxi speed Prime 546.
So let's get
Easy 2903 Papa ILS 28.
ground handling.
AC 2903 Papa Dublin Tower, good evening surface.
That's the frame rates. The frame rates are pretty good considering there's a lot of lights, a lot of stuff going on.
Easy 2903 Papa.
So let's open the door. Is
You'll see the seatbelts lights flash on and off. What's an indication?
Easy 712 for pushback and start up.
Easy
and
716
that,
standby, I'll call you back.
after a relatively stressful arrival, is us.
Easy
Done.
293 Papa, runway 28 KH land.
Let's just get the back door open.
Runway 28 clear to land. Easy 293 Papa.
So we've got 14043 fuel on board. We used 1.3 and 0.33. Fair amount of fuel. 55 minutes air time. 1 more block time. And that, ladies, welcome to a brand new, shiny looking Dublin.
And easy
Not perfect, but pretty good.
South QNH 1004.
It's alright.
Push and start proof, yes, QNH 1004, thanks for watching.
And Prime 546 will continue taxi Sierra Whiskey 2 Whiskey 3
So,
short runway
if you have been
1634.
watching, let me just mute me.
Continue on Sierra and was it Whiskey 2, Whiskey 3, and then hold short 1634 for Prime 546.
So, thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I managed to answer some questions. was useful. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Tomorrow, what I'm planning to do is for Gatwick Midweek Madness is to head from Dublin, probably this same stand, over to Gatwick and back in an evening. So I'll work out the times and will be my plan for tomorrow. So thanks very much for watching. See you again soon. Good night.